This happened a few months ago, and I still haven't fully wrapped my head around it. I bought a security camera to feel safer, but I've never felt more violated in my life. I recently got kicked out of my parents' house. They claimed I spent too much time in my room playing Elden Ring. They just don't get how stressful life can be for a millennial working two low-paying restaurant jobs. Sometimes you just want to escape reality. But after they kicked me out, I was desperate for a place to live. I ended up finding a cheap apartment in a pretty rough neighborhood, a place well known for burglaries and stabbings. A few bodies had even been found in the area. A week after I moved in, I woke up to the sound of scraping at my window. Someone was trying to pry it open and get inside. I jumped off the sofa and yelled as loud as I could. The intruder ran off, but it took the police a full half hour to show up. They told me it's pretty normal around here. One of the cops said,
"Some people's apartments get broken into 8 or 9 times. If you can get out, do it."
I couldn't afford to leave. My landlord's only advice was to get a dog or a gun. I decided to at least get a security camera, something to feel a little safer. I went to a big box electronics store and asked for the cheapest indoor security camera they had. It wasn't a brand I recognized, but it was all I could afford. It had motion detection, mobile alerts, and a feature where it would follow any movement in the room. That first night, I slept well, and when I reviewed the playback the next day, everything looked normal. It was almost comforting, like having a silent guardian. But then things got weird. One day, while I was playing Elden Ring, I heard a strange mechanical whir. I glanced over and realized the camera had slightly turned in my direction. I chalked it up to a glitch, opened the camera's app, and repositioned it back toward the door. Over the next few days, no matter how many times I reset the camera to point at the front door, I'd catch it slowly drifting back to follow me. And then there was the light. It had a blue standby light, but sometimes it switched to red by itself, which meant it was actually recording. I never turned on the recording manually. It was unsettling. I started to wonder if there was more to fear inside my apartment than outside. I turned off the motion detection feature, hoping that would force it to stay pointed at the door. One evening, I invited my girlfriend Becca over. Honestly, I'd been too embarrassed by the apartment to let her visit, but I missed her. I hopped in the shower to freshen up, and when I stepped out in just a towel, I saw the camera had turned, facing the bathroom door, and that red light was on, recording. Freaked out, I grabbed my clothes, ran back into the bathroom, and slammed the door. After I got dressed, I carefully peeked out again, and the camera had swung back toward the front door. I felt like I was losing it. When Becca arrived, I decided to unplug the damn thing to keep it from filming us. We had some pizza and cheap wine, and as we started getting intimate on the sofa, I heard a whirring sound. The camera, the unplugged camera, had turned toward us, blinking red. I jumped up, cursing. I told Becca I was exhausted and needed sleep, practically throwing her out of my apartment. She was mad, but I couldn't risk it recording us. I checked the outlet. No cable. It was unplugged. Yet it was recording. That night I sat on the sofa, staring at the camera. Finally, around 3 a.m, I dozed off. At 6 a.m, a barrage of notifications flooded my phone, all from the camera app. I opened the recordings, and my blood ran cold. The footage showed me walking around naked after a shower, playing Elden Ring in my underwear, even some intimate moments with a woman who wasn't Becca. Heart pounding, I stared at the camera. It was pointed right at me, red light on, recording. I freaked out, tore it off its mount, stuffed it into a garbage bag, and threw it into the dumpster. Sure, I was out the money I'd spent, and I no longer had any security, but at least it wouldn't be watching me anymore, or so I thought. I deleted all the footage from my phone and the cloud. I felt free, light. I called Becca, and we went on a date to make amends. We were having a good time until my phone started buzzing nonstop. When I checked, I saw the notifications were from the same security camera app. My stomach dropped. That camera was out of my apartment. It was in a dumpster, but it was still online. I ended our date early, drove home in a panic, and tore the apartment apart searching for another camera. Nothing. The notifications kept coming. I couldn't sleep. Eventually, I crashed at Becca's place. The next day, I did some digging online. Reddit was full of stories about this exact brand of camera. People claimed it had driven multiple owners to do unthinkable things. One post suggested deleting the app, but every time I tried, it reappeared on my phone. And that's when I noticed something new. The app showed the camera was still online, but the video feed wasn't from my apartment. It was streaming footage of someone else's home, a stranger's bedroom, living room. I was the one watching them now. If you're thinking of installing a security camera, just make sure you are the one doing the watching. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more real horror stories. Have a creepy experience of your own? Send it in. I'd love to hear about it.